What's up guys, welcome back for the Yugioh Pro Duel video. A couple of new Vrains pack 3 link monsters were revealed earlier today, and one of them were at least being the one of the new cards revealed was Artifact Dagda, I believe the name is, the new Artifact Link monster from Vrains pack 3. So let's take a look. It's definitely one of the better ones that was revealed earlier today. Still, at this moment of the video, there's still one more link to be revealed, and it's the Bujin one. Oh, it's probably going to be the Bujin one. So anyway, this new Artifact Link monster is very easy to get on the field. It's a Link 2, very appropriately has the two markers pointing down left and down right, and it only needs 2 monsters with different names, so it's super easy to get on the field. And this particular deck is, well, it's hands, artifacts, trap tricks, but without the hands. You know what I mean? In 2019/2020, the hands aren't really that great anymore, but the trap tricks engine is fantastic. It's a huge toolbox to search out a trap, and of course an extra monster on the field thanks to the Trap Tricks Link monster. Again, a fantastic card, something not to underestimate. And then, you know, some generic good cards like Phantasme, the hand traps, and then the Artifact engine. Since this new Artifact Link monster, it's fantastic. At least once per turn, as soon as either you or your opponent activates any effect like spell, trap or monster, you can directly set an artifact monster from your deck, or from your hand, indeed. And, well, it's not really a downside, but keep in mind that during your opponent's next end phase, it will be destroyed. And, you know, like the artifact will be special summoned, so preferably it will be moral tech to pop something from your opponent. But you have to wait for that. The second effect, well, is that the thing here is that with this artifact monster is that you can definitely trigger it during your own turn, you know, like Upstart Goblin or whatever, to directly set an artifact from your deck to your spell and trap card zone, or during your opponent's turn, if your opponent activates any card, you can also set something directly from your deck. So the pluses directly stack up. So it kind of feels like this Artifact Link monster is very similar to the Magical Musketeer, or a Magical Musketeer-alike effect. As soon as either you or your opponent activate a card effect, directly set something from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. So you're quickly stacking up those pluses next to the Trap Tricks Sarah, I believe the name is the Link one, also fantastic. Again, and that's why the deck is a little over 40 cards, like 44, 45, because both these toolboxes work very well together. And, well, you don't really want to open with the trap holes like Trashes or the Floodgate Trap Hole. You'd rather want to search them out, so that's why the deck count is a little over 40 cards. But okay, you might want to cut, let's say, 1 or 2 cards, so maybe dropping it to like 42 seems like the good, like the sweet spot. So anyway, the Sky Striker engine is a no-brainer. I mean, it searches out like Destruction if you want either Jamming Wave or whatever, right? Or the token, of course, to immediately... It's basically a 1-card link too. So a 1-card artifact link, and if you can activate any effect after that, it immediately searches out an artifact from your deck. So basically 3 pluses, right? I don't need to explain the artifact engine. The problem though of this deck is, well, the hardest matchup is like Thunders, for example, since the deck is running a lot of, let's say, spell and trap destruction. Hence why the Heavy Storm Duster is in here, as well as a potential trap trick target to Heavy Storm Duster during the end phase, or Storm Duster, let's say, on like, you know, like one of your artifacts. If I'm not mistaken, that should work, right? Same with Tornado Dragon, same reason, just target one of your sites that you just searched with your artifact link, and then, you know, against a lot of decks, that's basically game over. As soon as you can get sight during your opponent's turn on your side of the field, use the effect, and then prevent your opponent from using their extra deck. And again, I think against a deck like Salamangreat, that's most of the time game over, because of the low attack monsters, right? Phantasme is a no-brainer. I was thinking of adding in the Nibiru as well, since one of this deck's biggest weaknesses is big boards. Let's say if you're going second and well, your opponent has like multiple big beat sticks, multiple negations, that's very hard for this deck to come over, or, you know, like get rid of, and that's the problem of this particular you know, engine, or 2 engines combined. It's quite slow, but as soon as it gets the ball rolling, it's very hard to stop. Especially Sight. I mean, Sight is a 1-card, block your opponent from the extra deck is again quite fantastic in today's format. So yeah, this is again, yeah, and you'll see that you'll get another, like Rage from the Graveyard for the potential, another 3 pops, and that's just too much for this deck to handle. Okay, Phantasme for a couple of extra draws, I think he's going for another Link Summon. There should have been game, I believe if Yugioh was used a little bit sooner, then that would have been game, but don't worry, it's not going to matter too much. Yugioh again proving it's worth the bouncing back effects, right? And then, of course, drawing the dead artifacts, but it didn't really matter again. What can I do against another Rage popping like 3 cards? And yeah, now it's just, eventually he's going for Boral Sword, and that's it going to be game over. So Phantasma is a fantastic card, it's an expensive card in real life, but I mean, you can definitely, well, it's basically a free body again, an extra potential link material as well, a big beat stick, replenishes your hand, sending back those pesky trap hole trap cards, for example. So I definitely like it here in this particular deck. Mind Control, as I mentioned multiple times in previous videos, it will be, if not banned, it will be restricted. I mean, it makes no sense that how powerful these new Link monsters are, and they're generic. You can easily get them on the field, and they're somewhat powerful in their respective deck. And yeah, no way that Mind Control is going to survive like 1 or 2 formats. It's definitely going to be limited again. So anyway, side again on the field due to the Battery Man of triggering, and then, you know, Treasure Trapple, even with like 12 or 13 or 14 traps in the main deck. It's definitely good, especially first turn, to get a quick trap effect activated during your opponent's turn, and basically just an interruption play during their turn, and triggering the Traptrix Serra. Phantasma is a problem for this deck. I mean, if you're facing an opponent's Phantasma, that's huge. I mean, they got like an extra plus, a big beat stick, that on top of that is able to negate stuff that targets. That's very hard for this deck, and probably like a game loser already for this particular, you know, engine, since it's so hard to first of all get rid of it, and yeah, 2400 is just too much for like artifact. I mean, if Sight is dropped, artifact Sight, you know, Phantasma can just attack over it, and that's a problem of Phantasma if your opponent drops it against this particular deck. So some Traptrix shenanigans, Murmelio's effect of, you know, popping something, Serra activates because a Traptrix monster activates, so search a trap. I mean, this engine is so good. It's definitely an underrated engine. So anyway, Dagda, again, the artifact, Heavy Storm Duster, you know, for the potential search as well. Searching Sight, and this should be game over if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, probably should have used the Sanctum during the previous turn, you know, having the extra beat stick definitely was game over, but whatever, right? It's not going to matter too much. Floodgate Trap Hole to put the Spinny face down, again, triggering some extra searches, Beagle Tech, etc, etc. So there's one rank 5 Exceed in the extra deck being Pleiades. You have some free space in the extra deck, so again, feel free if you have like any suggestions for that. So anyway, last matchup against Thunders. Thunders is a hard matchup because of a lot of dead cards, like, you know, the Ignition spell, Spell and Trap Destruction as well. So there are a couple of dead cards here in the main deck, like Side is okay, but as you see, like, Thunders is definitely able to play around the side effect of blocking themselves from the extra deck use. And this is what I talked about earlier, a lot of big beat sticks, and that's so hard for this deck to get over, and that's the problem I still have with this deck. So something like Nibiru might be an option, Mass Destruction maybe, but yeah, Nibiru is again one of those cards that might fit in well in this particular deck. So this is again game over, but I definitely like this deck. It's very fun to artifact that. You could be like very cheesy and add in maybe more artifacts, add in Caduceus as well. I believe the name is that, you know, that every time you special summon an artifact after Caduceus hits the field, you can draw like a card. So okay, that's very cheesy, but I'm not really sure. The deck is already running like 45 cards. So I think it's justified, yes, Upstart in a 45 deck, because, you know, it triggers your artifact search, so that's why Upstart is still in here, and just in case, basically an extra spell because of the Sky Striker engine. But other options, Call by the Grave Nibiru, as you see here in the quote-unquote side deck, Instant Fusion, again, next to Mind Control, very generic, and especially if you're going first, getting out 1000 Ice Restrict, sucking up like your opponent's monster, and then, you know, link it away for the yeah, for the artifact link, it's superb. Or even then, if you're able to go for the artifact link first, going for instant fusion, it's so good. So that's pretty much it. Again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions, guys. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.